Imagine walking into a room and instantly feeling eyes on you. Long before anyone speaks, your body tenses, your breathing shifts, and your awareness sharpens. That primal, physiological panic of being watched by an unseen observer is one of the oldest human survival mechanisms. In an ancient world without psychology or neuroscience, people lacked the language to explain this sudden physical reaction to someone else's gaze. Cultures separated by oceans and centuries independently developed the concept of the evil eye to give a name to this overwhelming sensation. These civilizations believed that a single glance filled with envy, obsession, or hatred carried a physical weight. To protect themselves, they created specific talismans like this blue eye to reflect that invisible force back at the sender. Humanity was attempting to map a real, highly sensitive psychological vulnerability to social attention. The evil eye was their first available framework for understanding why a look can feel like a physical blow. When someone directs intense, judgmental attention toward you, your brain registers it as a social danger. Your nervous system reacts by increasing stress and triggering hypervigilance, which causes you to hesitate, overthink, and physically change your posture. During the Renaissance, occultists realized they could intentionally exploit this reaction. They called this practice fascination, describing it as a binding charm passing directly from the mind of the sorcerer through the eyes and straight into the heart of the subject. To execute these binding charms and love spells, historical texts required a specific physical action. The operator forced their target to maintain unbroken eye contact, often under the guise of casting their horoscope, to overwhelm their conscious defenses. By forcing intense eye contact, these operators were utilizing a biological backdoor directly into the human nervous system. Modern clinical psychology later identified the same mechanism hidden beneath the folklore. Medical pioneers like Dr. Milton Erickson used these exact physiological principles to safely induce profound trance states in their patients. Clinicians call this technique eye fixation. Instead of an occult ritual, a hypnotherapist asks a patient to stare at a single focal point on the wall or ceiling. As the patient continues to stare, their physical eyesight naturally begins to tire and flutter. The conscious mind darts around analyzing thousands of stimuli, but when forced to focus on one single visual anchor, it narrows its entire reality. This visual overload fatigues the brain, bypassing the judging, doubting faculty of the conscious left hemisphere. By exhausting the critical mind, the clinician opens a direct channel straight into the vast subconscious right brain. Modern therapy relies on this sensory overload to reach the parts of the mind that logic cannot access. This chart shows the specific neurological change happening behind the eyes during fixation. When you are awake and alert, your brain fires rapidly in the beta state, around 20 cycles per second. But as the eyes fatigue, the brain's frequency physically slows down, shifting into the smoother rhythm of the alpha state. Pulsing between 7 and 14 cycles per second, the alpha state synchronizes the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It neutralizes internal chatter, dropping the subject into a state of deep relaxation and extreme openness to suggestion. The aggressive, forced induction of the alpha brainwave state accounts for the symptoms once attributed to an evil eye curse. Encouraging the mechanics of fascination allows you to consciously use this biological machinery to manage your own social anxiety and change how others perceive you. The first step is internal regulation. Practicing alone, you close your eyes and turn your eyes slightly upward behind your eyelids at an angle of 20 degrees, as if you were looking up at a movie screen, while slowly counting backward. Clinical research has shown that positioning the eyes at this specific upward angle physically triggers the production of alpha rhythms and causes an increase in right brain activity. It serves as a mechanical switch that forces the brain to downshift from the alert beta state. Within moments, this angle pulls your mind out of its internal dialogue. It neutralizes the stress signals that normally keep your nervous system in a state of high alert. You cannot project an aura of confidence if your own brain is firing in a frantic state. Establishing control over your internal brainwave frequency is the prerequisite for any external interaction. Once you know how to access that centered state, you move to step 2, External application. In high-stakes social situations, you recall that feeling of deep relaxation, and you sincerely, firmly lock your gaze with the other person. While holding their eyes, you implement step 3, broadcasting intent. This involves mentally projecting a positive message, like happiness to you, while maintaining the alpha state. This mental focus ensures your own internal state remains non-threatening and sincere. Because your eye contact is triggering their sensory overload, their subconscious becomes highly sensitive to your emotional cues, bypassing their logical defenses. When their subconscious registers your genuine lack of hostility, their own nervous system begins to synchronize with your calm. They experience a sense of trust and comfort because your internal state has effectively deactivated their social threat response. Mastering your internal state and directing your attention provides a tool set for navigating social pressure with clarity instead of fear. By understanding how the gaze works, you move from being a victim of social perception